Alright, welcome to Web Dev Insider YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn how to push our project to GitHub using Git Bash. What is GitHub? GitHub is an online software development platform. It's used for storing, tracking, and collaborating on software projects. It makes it easy for developers to share code files and collaborate with fellow developers on open source projects. How does GitHub work? GitHub users create accounts, upload files, and create coding projects. But the real work of GitHub happens when users begin to collaborate. While anyone can code independently, teams of people build most development projects. Sometimes these teams are all in one place at once time, but more often they work asynchronously. There are many challenges to creating collaborative projects with distributed teams. GitHub makes this process much simpler in a few different ways. What is Git? Git is open source version control software used for managing and tracking file revisions. You can use Git with any file type, but it's most often used for tracking code files. Let's get started. First, you need to create a GitHub account at github.com with your email and head over to https://git-scm.com and head over to Downloads. So if you are on Windows, head over to Windows button and download Git for Windows like Windows 7, 8, 10, and so on. If you're on macOS, choose one of the following options for installing Git on macOS, Homebrew, MacPorts, Xcode, and so on. If you're on Linux and Unix like me, you can install Git on Ubuntu, Fedora, Gentoo, and so on. So let's get started. To put your project up on GitHub, you will need to create a repository for it to live in. In the upper right corner of any page, select, then click New Repository. Type a short, memorable name for your repository. For example, Hello World. Optionally, add a description of your repository. For example, my first repository on GitHub AE. Choose a repository visibility with maybe public or private, but we are going to choose public. Select Initialize this repository with a readme. Click Create Repository. Congratulations, you've successfully created your first repository and initialized it with a readme file. This is the per-screen steps to follow when you install Git on Windows. Download the executable Git file from git-scm.com Downloads. Run the installation file with administrator rights. Choose an appropriate installation location such as C, ER, Tools, RG, Git. Install the default components, including Git GUI here and Git Bash here. So if you are on Windows, head to the folder where your project is, right-click on the folder and open with Git Bash, and it should look something like this. So I don't know how macOS works because I'm using Linux, but I hope is the same process. So if you're using Ubuntu, right-click on the folder and then click Open in Terminal. You can check your current version of Git by running the Git version command in a terminal for Linux, macOS, or Git Bash Windows. Use Git init to initialize the repository. It is used to create a new empty repository or directory consisting of files with the hidden directory. Git is created at the top level of your project, which places all of the revision information in one place. Use git add in your bash to add all the files to the given folder. Use git status in your bash to view all the files which are going to be staged to the first commit. You can create a commit message by git commit your message, which adds the change to the local repository, and I replace my own message with my new project. Git commit uses m as a flag for a message to set the commits with the content where the full description is included, and a message is written in an imperative sentence up to 50 characters long and defining what was changed and why was the change made. Open your remote repository's URL from GitHub. The HTTPS or URL is copied from the given GitHub account, which is the place of the remote repository. Add the URL copied, which is your remote repository, to where your local content from your repository is pushed, which is git remote add origin your URL name. So replace the URL name with the HTTP link you just copied from GitHub, then you say git push. So we got an error and Git says we should push our project with git push setup stream origin master. So we run it in Git Bash. So after running git push setup stream origin master, they are going to ask you to choose the Git account you are using. So you select your account, or they may even ask you for your email or name. So I advise you to use your email for Git to have access to your GitHub account. So if you have reached this stage, I want to say congratulations. I know it's not that easy, but we are not done yet. So if you refresh this page and you are able to see your project in your repository, means you have pushed your project successfully, but most of you will come across this compare and pull request suggestion. A user was complaining saying that I have created a new branch that contains all images used in the project's redm.md. It is supposed to never get merged and is just there to keep the main branch tidy. GitHub displays big yellow compare and pull request above the repository now. How can I get rid of this message? It is very distracting. Will it go away after some time on its own? It seems I also cannot create a pull request and then decline it. When I click on compare and pull request, I only get forwarded to a there isn't anything to compare page without any further options. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of GitHub's compare and pull request. First, head over to settings, head over to default branch, select switch to another branch icon. So you need to switch the default branch to another branch, by which is master, click update, click the button, which says, I understand, update the default branch. Head back to code. Now you can able to see your project. So if you made changes in your project files and you want to push it to GitHub, I'm going to show you how to push it. So after making some changes in your project files, right-click on it and select Git Bash here, run git init, git add, then run git commit, updated, and lastly, run git push. Once that is done, head back to your repository and refresh the page. You will be able to see the changes you made. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the subscribe button, or hit the notification bell, or leave me a comment. See you next time.